New for you this morning as high school football playoffs approach. It's also a competitive season for marching bands.
It is indeed. There's a lot that goes into what these bands do, and we're learning about some of that in the Standout Above the Rest. Fox Carolina's own Myra Ruiz joins us live from Greenville County. Hey, Myra.
Hey, Mac and Ashley. I'm at Musical Innovations, which is at the corner of Tanner and East Butler Roads in Greenville. This is a great musical resource for a lot of high school band programs and other music programs. I'm going to step out of the way so who you can see who we're talking to this morning. That's Tracy Leenman. She's the owner there. And Adam Scheuch, he might be a familiar face from Mauldin High School's marching band. And Harrison Thornton, he has been with Travelers Rest marching band for the past couple of years and already accomplished so much. So we're going to start with him. You have a big competition coming up this weekend, right?
That's right. This weekend's the 3A state competition. And it's been such a blast to see the kids grow over the course of this year. They haven't grown just as musicians and as performers, but also as people. They really bought into the message of our show, which is to keep your head in the clouds and, put your mind to it and nothing is impossible.
Well, speaking of clouds, we have some video of your performance, award-winning performance, I might add. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the whole show is about overcoming self-doubt, and it's this journey of a person overcoming self-doubt and through the idea of clouds. And it starts with darker clouds and it moves into these brighter clouds. And at the end of the show, there's this voiceover that says, if you put your mind to it and you keep your head in the clouds, nothing is impossible.
Yeah, it was beautiful to watch all those people moving and playing and everything. And another competition is coming up next weekend for Dr. Scheuch here. Busy year for you as well.
Always. We keep going all the way till November 5th, and that is the 5A state championship. We're very excited. It's at Irmo High School. We have 21 bands competing to make finals for the top 12 spots, and we certainly hope to be in that.
Yeah, and you already made history with your band earlier this month. As we take a look at your award-winning performance, tell us about that.
Thank you. On October 15th, we competed in Johnson City at the Bands of America Regional competition. For us, that was a great achievement just to be there. But on top of that, we actually made the finals for the first time for any high school in Greenville County. So we are extremely happy about that. We're starting to set the bar higher and higher each year.
Certainly are. Thank you so much, and congratulations to both of you. Tracy, I know she has a very long history in marching bands, right?
Yes, I started marching in 1970 in Plainview, New York. I marched at the University of Rochester. I was the drum major there. I marched at Syracuse University, and I was the drum major there. And after that, I was a band director for several years, but I'm done marching.
Well, you were talking about what marching bands do today. It has really evolved, and it's pretty tough. I mean, it's not that it was never tough, but they do a lot of theatrical things and amazing feats.
Totally different because they have themes and they have props. Like Harrison was talking about the clouds. When I marched in marching band in high school and college, we didn't have props. All we had was straight lines, and we thought we were really great if we did a pinwheel. But now they do the craziest. It is like Cirque du Soleil with instruments. It's just awesome what they've learned from the BOA movement down to the high school movement.
Yes, and it's amazing what they do, and it's amazing what music can do for you. So coming up in the next hour, they're going to share with us a little bit more about how being in marching band can be good for the brain and body. Reporting live in Greenville, Myra Ruiz, Fox Carolina News.
8:35 new this morning. Practice appears to be paying off for some fixtures of the high school football season.
And this morning, we're not referring to the football players, but instead the marching bands that really rally up the crowds, get them excited. Fox Carolina's Myra Ruiz is live in Greenville County. Myra, good morning.
Good morning, Ashley and Margaret Ann. We are at Musical Innovations, catching up with some heavy hitters in the fields of marching bands. And the owner of this place is Tracy Leenman, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about a study about how music is really good for the brain, right?
Yeah, there was a study done in metropolitan Nashville schools where the children were very low achieving, and they tried everything. They tried all the STEM, they tried everything you can imagine. And then a woman went to that school as the arts coordinator and said, well, let's just infuse music in their lives.
And so then they did the study, and it showed it had a positive impact. Tell us about the measurable results.
The SAT scores went up over 100 points. ACT scores went up. Graduation rate went up. discipline referrals went way down, and there was nothing negative about it. And what is so sad about this is that schools will take kids out of music if they're not making it in other classes, when music is the one thing that's proven to affect their attitude, their discipline, their engagement in class. So we are always trying to remind people that by law, music is an essential subject and is very important for their children.
Sure. And so we also have Dr. Adam Scheuch here with us, and he is the director of Mauldin's marching band, which has had a very successful year already. Congratulations. You know, tell us about the physical rigors. I mean, you guys get started in the middle of the summer, 12 hours a day.
We do. We have 2 to 3 weeks of band camp. Each day is about 12 hours long in the summer, and then, of course, we practice throughout the season multiple times a week, and we're busy about 5 days a week. The demands of marching band is very rigorous. We have to teach them to go from one place to another place on the field, 50 to 60 to 70 places on a field, and we have to teach them how to do it a very specific way, and while they're playing an instrument, and simultaneous responsibilities by moving their bodies all at the same time, so it's a lot.
Yes, and you recently placed, made history in a Band of America's competition. Let's take a look at that video, and tell us, what do you think impressed the judges?
Well, thank you. Going back to simultaneous responsibilities, if you see on the video, you'll see that we have a lot of dancing going on. We have a lot of movement. People aren't just standing still, which is what we're looking for.
Yes, and Harrison Thornton with Travelers Rest also made history this year.
Yeah, this was the first year that the band has made state since 2013, so we're super excited for the opportunity.
Okay, tell us we're going to look at your video. Tell us what you think impressed the judges.
Well, same thing. We have a lot of simultaneous responsibilities playing on the move, except, you know, by the end of the show, it's basically like you've ran a marathon, except instead of inhaling, you've been exhaling the whole time. So it's the world's greatest weight loss program.
Yeah, inadvertently, and, you know, people feel great. Those uniforms are pretty loose, though, by the end of the season.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, coming up in the next hour, they're gonna give us some tutorials and give us some of the tips, since they both have winning marching bands. So we'll check back with you a little bit later on that. But for now, I'm reporting live in Greenville. Myra Ruiz, Fox Carolina News.
All right. 9/11 as we come back this morning, and as high school football players start to wrap up another season, some marching band members, they're getting even busier.
Yeah, marching bands are taking their halftime shows on the road for competition. Fox Carolina's Myra Louise joins us live to tell us all about this. Myra.
Well, good morning. We're at Musical Innovations at the corner of Tanner and East Butler Roads in Greenville. We've been talking about marching band season, all the competitions taking place, and if marching band were any easier, some people might call it football. A very rigorous field to be into. And Tracy Leenman, who owns this place, also has a long history with marching bands. You're a third-generation marching band member, right?
That is correct. My dad was in marching band. I'm in marching band, and then I have children in marching band and grandchildren in marching band.
You were a drum major at Syracuse University. In fact, we have a picture.
One of the hardest things about that is it was before the Carrier Dome was built, so we were outdoors. And I marched in my career 11 games that were 30 below or colder.
Wow, and that would be so many miles. I mean, you've accomplished multiple marathons probably.
It's a lot of walking. Back then, we were not on a podium with a platform. We were actually choreographed into the show. And it was a very different style of, drum majoring, as opposed to now where they're up on the podium and they can conduct and don't have to worry about also running around. So,
well, you certainly look beautiful when you're doing that too, and today as well. But your granddaughter is here, a fourth-generation band member, and this is one of those things where you learn some life lessons, right? Show us what you've learned. And that was more than 7 years ago when you really had to play that. That's Alex over here. She was actually a student of Adam Scheuch with Mauldin High School's marching band. And, there are a lot of lessons people have to learn, some of the basic things. And, why don't you, as Tracy has a saxophone, I'm going to grab an instrument. Tell us what one of the first things you have to learn is.
We'll use Harrison as our example, but we start at standby position, and then we move to attention position, where everyone brings their instrument to a set here, and then we talk about horns up, which is our playing position.
Okay, so like this?
Yep, that's attention and horns up. Nailed it.
Okay, you also learned some ballet moves, right, when you're in marching band?
We do. We start with first position. We also teach other things like tendu, ranajan, and then we move to second position and plie and lunges as well.
Wow, you get quite the workout for sure. And, just Harrison has coming up this weekend and the one you have next weekend.
Well, I'm really excited about this weekend's because this is state competition. The Travelers Rest Band and a lot of other groups will be performing at Westwood High School for the 3A state competition. I'm very excited for him and for his kids. We are at Irmo High School for the 5A state competition next Saturday.
That's great. And one thing to mention, it's really tough to get to the finals, and a couple of other Greenville County 3A schools are going to be there, including Greer High School and Blue Ridge High School. So a lot of parents, a lot of kids, a lot of people have a lot to be proud of. So thank you so much for joining us today. And remember...
Now your Fox Carolina First Alert.